Attention everybody, the views expressed on the show are not necessarily those of Acts Ministry, Acts Media Group, and or their affiliate and subordinate ministries and or nonprofits. So without any further ado, it's the new gold standard with Tony Hammock. Take it away, Tony.
Good morning, everybody out there in Acts Media viewership land. If you're here in Southwest Missouri, you know the conditions we're under. It was sleeting on us as we were driving over this morning, and of course later on this afternoon we're supposed to have, I don't know, one forecast said 1 to 3 inches and one said 3 to 6, so who knows what's coming down our Highway 44 towards us. Anyway, I am really tickled today. I've got a special guest. His name is Luke Hammock. He is my youngest son. You want to say hi?
Hello.
Luke is here courtesy of Springfield Public Schools deciding not to have school today. And so we thought it'd be fun to have him come along and be on a radio show and help out a little bit with some of the stuff and everything. And I got a good show for us. That's one of the reasons I wanted to come on in. I had surgery yesterday over at Mercy, and it was on my neck. I don't know if you can see. It's on my good side is facing the camera, so we're okay there. My bad side now has a scar down here, but I get to go back on the 12th and get the stitches removed and stuff. So we're in good shape, and I cannot, I ought to take an opportunity. I'm usually one of those ones that gets to, be the first one to say a disparaging word about hospitals and stuff. And yesterday I was treated very, very well by all the staff over at Mercy, and the doctor did a great job. It was just a really nice experience if you have to go through something like that and stuff. So I was very pleased with how it turned out. Excuse me. Anyway, without further ado, we're going to try and do the same format we usually do on the show, even though we have Mr. Luke with us. And you know me, I like to get into the stewardship program as soon as possible, because we never know, if the lights go out or something like that. I'd hate to miss it. So today's the third in 4 of these lessons for this particular course I chose. Excuse me. And the devotional goes, "We were slaves to sin, but Jesus came to set us free." If he wanted to set us free in one area, why would he want us to be slaves in another? Whether you've acquired debt through circumstances beyond your control or through your own mistakes, I believe God would love to see his children living debt-free lives. As stewards of the money that he has entrusted to us, we will have a free will. We can choose to give, save, or spend however we like. We can even spend more than we have. The good news is that God will work on our behalf to help us get out of debt, but we have a part to play. It doesn't matter how much God provides. If we spend more money than we have, we will always be in debt. Getting out of debt is not a one-time decision. I wish getting out of debt, losing weight, and exercising were one-time decisions, but they are not. They need to be decided over and over again. Every time you feel tempted to buy something you don't need, or eat a dozen Oreos, or just feel like sitting on the couch, you have a decision to make. Are you going to do what you should do, or what you feel like doing? You probably know what most of us do most of the time. What we feel like doing, that's why we need God's help. Set your intention, then your trust in him. Your faith mixed with action will make all the difference. If you're in debt and want to get out, spend a moment praying for God's help. God, I know you can do all things, and then I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. I want to get out of debt, but I need your help. Lead me by your wisdom as I begin this journey. Help me change my habits and my mindset. Work through me and others so I can eliminate all of my debt. Lead me to a place where I can be in a position to give more to others. For your glory and in Jesus' name, amen. So, that sounds like a wonderful lesson. There's some good things in there. Some things Luke and I can identify with, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Whether we should lay around or we should do the chores.
Or where we should eat a dozen Oreos like you.
I beg to differ. I think that's the pot calling the kettle black. Anyway, so he has a nasty habit of sneaking out at night and grabbing oatmeal cream pies and things of that nature.
Oh, I'm guilty of that. I've been guilty of that.
Really? And then we get up in the morning and there's the wrapper.
Ice cream, anything sweet, snacky. barbecue brisket, whatever.
Maybe Matt's my brother from another mother,
That's right. That's right.
or Luke's.
I recommend you put the oatmeal cream pies in the freezer and then eat them that way.
Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
we've never thought of that.
It'll make them that much more addictive. Just
Oh,
saying.
my goodness. Okay, well, so with that out of the way, let's get into another part of the show that I like to have. Yes, sir?
It's reading.
It's reading. What do you mean?
I don't know.
Let's get into prices. And, a lot's happened in just the last 7 days. It's one of the reasons I didn't want to miss the show this morning is just that with, the coronavirus, it seems like one day gold goes up because everybody's scared to death. The next day, those speculators take profits and gold goes down. And, we're having some interesting swings. But like I've told you so many times in the past, our show is about alternative assets. One of them being gold, the other being silver, and then we've got a variety of others, palladium, platinum, and so forth. And, there's a foundation there to have gold and silver in your portfolio. Along with that foundation and doing it for the long term as an investment, you're always going to have speculators that will come in and only be in for a day or two. So don't get distracted by the noise, I call it, or the talking heads on TV, or any of that kind of stuff, because the position of 10% in your portfolio at least will serve you well over the years, especially when things get bad. But anyway, without rambling on, as of 9:08 this morning, gold, an ounce. Now these next prices are all ounces, but gold is $1,550.50. Silver is $17.64. Platinum is $9.77. And oh my goodness, palladium is up to $2,486. Now, I know I've probably made a big deal about this, but I'm going to do it one more time. Remember, palladium back in the 1st of December was about $1,800. And then last but not least is rhodium. And rhodium is up another 100. It's at 10,500. And I think back in the 1st of December, it was about 8,000. I'll have to go check my prices, but I'm usually pretty good with that kind of stuff. And I think what's happening with both palladium and rhodium is that their biggest mines are in Africa. And I think there's a water shortage going on there, so some people have just turned the mines off. They've closed them down. And so that supply and demand thing we've talked about before is coming into effect. The demand is ever increasing because they use a lot of these metals in catalytic converters for cars and things like that. And the supply is no longer as plentiful as it was, if at all. So stay tuned. My hunch is those two will continue on their upward trek until something changes in Africa. Okay, these next few, your base metals, we call them, are by the pound. And copper is $2.60 a pound. Nickel is $5.95. Aluminum is 77 cents. Zinc is $1.01. Lead's 83 cents. And uranium is up 45 cents to $24.80 a pound. So there's a couple to keep an eye on. Crude oil is up 4%. It's at $51.49 a barrel. And this morning so far, the Dow is up 1.12%, which brings it to 29,131. So we've already got an active morning going on this February 5th, Wednesday, February 5th, here in Springfield, Missouri. Anyway, I hope some of those make sense from time to time. I am just kind of looking at the headlines here of some stories that recently ran on this. Gold demand, this is the biggest story of the decade, says the Perth Mint. Story about a ex-NFL player turned business mogul. The fuel behind central banks' hunger for gold, the World Gold Council. And, we talked about that a couple weeks ago. That's one of those things you need to keep in mind is this the fuel behind central banks' hunger for gold. You know, after '08, when we had such a devastating year financially, globally, the BIS, which is the entity that all central banks report to in Basel, Switzerland, you know, they started trying to come out with ways to set the system to where that couldn't happen again, hopefully. And so they had Basel I and Basel II, and then last year they came out with Basel III. And Basel III went into effect in April. And I know this sounds kind of high-altitude stuff, but I'll try to keep it short and sweet because it's very important. What Basel III did to gold was it said, okay, gold is no longer a Tier 3 asset, which as a Tier 3 asset, it was considered risky, and they could only use 50% of what they had on their balance sheet towards their reserves for lending. Well, what banker is going to want to do that? So with Basel III last April, they said, okay, look, gold is now a Tier 1 asset, which means it is risk-less. It has no risk on their balance sheet as a Tier 1 asset. And furthermore, what makes it even more intriguing is that they now can count, bankers, the central bankers, can now use 100% of its value towards their reserves. So if you think about last year's pricing in gold, it was about April when all of a sudden the central banks had this huge appetite for gold worldwide. I mean, every central bank, ours included. And that's why, is they're now loading up their balance sheet with more and more gold for a lot of reasons, but this was a very important one. And so, anyway, that's what that article's about, not to get too far off in the weeds. Triple-digit silver price. And so there's a few folks thinking that silver is going to get into triple digits. When you know the price I just read a few minutes ago at $17.70, I think it was. And you know, that's another thing that came out late last night. I didn't have a chance to print it out or anything like that, but there was an article that was discussing this ratio we've talked about before between gold and silver. And for years, centuries, what people do is they go, okay, a price of silver is this, excuse me, and a price of gold is that. How many ounces of silver would I need to have to equal an ounce of gold? And right now it's about 86 or so, give or take. And that is way out of the norm. The more recent norm was about 60 to 1. And so even if you go from 86 to 1 to 60 to 1, the price of silver is expected to go up. Now, if you go even further back in time, you know, there was a period back in the 70s where the norm was like a 30 to 1 ratio. And so there's some people that think we may get back there. So if you've got silver, hang on to it. If you don't have silver, you might think about adding it to your portfolio. And I know that my wife and I have recently made some acquisitions, and we're very pleased with those positions we've taken. Anyway, I do have this special guest, Mr. Luke, here with us. And I told him if from time to time I'd ask him a question to keep him involved. And I was just curious, Luke, what is your thoughts on work?
Well, as a famous person once told me, make work your favorite.
How many brothers do you have?
3, 4 if you're counting the one that we made up.
Oh, stop it. Not on the radio. Okay, and what are their names and ages?
Asa, and he's about 17. Jonah, and he's about like 21. And then Noah, who would be about 24, I believe.
Very good. Yeah, we've got a Noah, 24, a Jonah, 21. Jonah's actually been on the show before and actually sang Amazing Grace with Matt here last year at one point, which was pretty neat. And then Asa's actually 18. He's going to the University of Tulsa.
18.
Yeah. And Mr. Luke, how old are you?
About 12 and a half.
12 and a half. Notice how we keep track of even the portions of years at this age.
At our age.
Yeah, they get our age, and then it's like, You know,
Stay as young as we can.
yeah. Oh, okay. So, well, I told you I had what I think is a great show. A lot of new information's popping up and stuff. And a couple of things I wanted to get into is last week, well, 2 weeks ago, I was real excited because I had found a new source for gold. And the reason why this was kind of fun was this company will actually sell gold by the grams. So instead of having to pay $15.70 for an ounce of gold, there's 32 grams in a troy ounce. So you divide that by 32, and you can now acquire gold by the gram. And this company specializes in this. And one of the things I found out, which I hope this is as exciting for you as it is for me, is a little company, well, maybe that's not the right word, a little organization called the Vatican has endorsed,
Church.
yes, the Vatican in Vatican City, Italy, has actually endorsed Carrot Bars and has loaned their logos and a picture of the Pope and all this kind of stuff for one of their cards. And their cards are about the size of a credit card. I should hopefully have one by next week. But just picture a credit card here with a picture of the Pope and a logo from the Vatican. And then right in the middle of the card, they have connected or sealed a gram of gold. And they did this along with Carrot Bars as a fundraising attempt. And so I think they issued something like 300,000 of them. And, you know, I think the Vatican gets a portion of the proceeds, hence the reason for it being a fundraiser and stuff. But there's still a few in the back office. I looked last night, and I think I'm going to add one just because of the rarity of it. And so the Carrot Bars fundraising and charity opportunities are amazing. And one of the things I thought I'd do is just kind of go over that just briefly. I'm not going to read everything verbatim, but enough to kind of, you know, let people know how it works because, you know, let's face it, we've got Acts Ministry here, but inside of Acts, we've got a lot of different ministries. And if you're in the listening audience, or if you have a nonprofit organization, 501c3, whatever it may be, and would like to, you know, have a new way to raise funds, you know, let me know. You can always reach me at 417-755-0700 or email me at tony@thegoldaffiliate.com. But the way the fundraiser works, a Go for Gold fundraiser is a lucrative fundraising system for churches, schools, athletic teams, boosters, houses of worship, charities, nonprofit organizations, and other deserving organizations. In this tough economic climate, it is becoming increasingly more difficult for worthy organizations that rely on donations to get by. Carrot Bars International has a solution by offering automatic monthly gold savings plans. Imagine, the patrons of your fundraiser will be able to start protecting the value of their savings, hedging against devaluing paper money by diversifying into gold. And then Carrot Bars International will do generous revenue sharing with the organization. And that would happen on a monthly basis on the recurring deposits. So if you believe in tithing, which we should, we've talked about that in the stewardship class before, here's a great way to tithe by buying, let's say, a gram of gold a week or a gram of gold a month, whatever you can afford. And then by doing it in this system here, your organization, let's call it Acts Ministry for the moment, would benefit because of the way we'd have it set up and get a donation from Carrot Bars International, which I think it's incredible. I mean, you've heard me talk about this before with 7K Metals, I think it was. This is a great way to tithe and yet end up having not only the tithing that's going on and your church benefits, but what you have left over is a little bit more than just a receipt to show at tax time. And what I mean by that is you're trading your fiat currency for a gram of gold. So everything else has worked here. The church has benefited, the ministry has benefited, your tithing has benefited, your pledge to the Lord, let's say. And then the next thing that's benefited is you and your family, because you still own the gram of gold. And if you do this for a year, you got, one a month, that's 12 grams. That's more than you had, when you started. And if we ever did have a situation develop where the fiat currency was actually worthless, you'd have the ability to still put food on the table for your family and, pay the rent or mortgage or whatever else and stuff. Because I'm sure quickly our society would switch over to taking gold and silver for goods and services. You will be impressed with just how easy this fundraiser is and how lucrative it can be when promoted well. It is a real win-win situation, as the supporters are happy with having their savings protected with gold, and the organization makes money too. And it said lucrative twice in those 3 paragraphs. I hope what I'm conveying as I was reading that is it's lucrative for the church involved and for the members of the church. And then we get into why buy gold. Gold is the best form of savings you can have because as money, it maintains its purchasing power over long periods of time. Compared to the U.S. dollar, which has lost 98% of its purchasing power in the last 100 years. 2,000 years ago, when Christ walked the earth in ancient Rome, you could buy the finest toga, leather belt, and high-quality leather sandals, all for 1 ounce of pure gold. In 1923, an ounce of gold was a little bit over 21 bucks, and for that amount, you could still buy a tailored suit, leather belt, and high-quality leather shoes. Fast forward to today, 2020. An ounce of gold is over $1,500. So for an ounce of gold, I can still purchase a tailored suit, leather belt, and high-quality shoes. And, you fast forward to our marketplace now, and we could even buy a leather belt. This is why prudent people save in gold. Another equally important positive is that demand is growing by leaps and bounds, especially in the emerging countries such as China, India, and South Africa. As hundreds of millions of people worldwide become more affluent, they're buying gold. International central banks have also become big buyers, further increasing demand. Rather than just holding cash and deteriorating dollars, they're buying more gold for their reserves. We just talked about that. They see what's happening on the world stage, and they obviously don't like it. So, one last thing I did. Well, let me see. I want to go over this real quick. So, cash, we're talking about this devaluation. We've talked about this on the show several times. But cash loses value due to inflation. If you stored cash, $300 per month for the past 20 years, okay, so $300 a month for the last 20 years, you'd have $72,000. If you looked at what it could buy due to inflation, the purchasing power would only be about $56,000. So, you got to factor in those $300 back 20 years ago. That's back when $300 was $300. Now it's not worth that. In fact, from 2013, or excuse me, from 1913 to 2020, cash has lost about 95% of its purchasing power. Okay, flip side of that is, let's say that for those 20 years you'd been putting $300 per month into gold, okay? And what would you now have? And it looks like you'd now have, instead of the $72,000 that could only buy you $56,000 worth of stuff, you'd have $230,000, and it would buy $230,000 worth of stuff. So that's why the experts recommend us to exchange fiat currency for gold. Gold versus paper. Which would you rather have? We can all agree that it is important to maintain long-term savings. So the question is, where should we be putting our savings? In January of '71, if you had started at $400 a month in your regular savings account, by January 2011, you would have almost had $150,000 in your account. However, if you'd been converting the same $400 a month into gold from '71 to 2011, your gold savings account would be worth over $1 million. So which would you rather have? And it says, why Karatbars? Karatbars gold is produced at LBMA-approved refineries. Karatbars offers privately issued gold bars by the grams. Unlike government-issued coins, these cannot be confiscated. This means when you purchase them, you own them directly and outright. Many bullion coins are government-issued coins, meaning when you purchase them, you are only the bearer of, while the issuing government is the owner. Number 3, all Karatbars gold has the smelter assayer stamp, signifying the highest level of purity. Karatbars also has the rare ability to produce branded gold cards for your organization. As an example, if you are a religious institution, Karatbars can produce branded gold cards for you, making them religious collectibles. This is an important point in that gold and silver bars and coins of religious collectability are legally non-confiscatable under UN resolutions. In other words, those Pope John Paul II Karatbars issued by the Vatican. Karatbars gold savings plans are affordable and practical for the ordinary person, and in principle there's no administration for the organization. In principle there is no cost to the organization, and it's generous profit sharing. So, you know, once again, getting back to, like, let's say Acts Ministry as an example, we could set this up where there'd be no administration cost for the organization and no cost to the organization, and so that could work out real well. All righty. I don't know if I don't see Matt. I see the golden microphone. Matt, are you out there?
He's gone to the 8th dimension.
Well, we'll just wait for Mr. Matt to return to the studio. I always like at this point in the show, right about halfway through, to have a word from our sponsor. So when he returns, we'll get into that. I'll go ahead and start a little bit about something new I wanted to discuss. And, you know, I try to keep the topics new and fresh as much as possible. I mean, there is some redundancy just because we want to keep the foundation of the show based on the alternative assets and stuff. But, you know, I got to thinking about it over the week. I had a situation came up where a business person I know down in Branson, excuse me, was having difficulty raising funds for his business. And he called me up. And as you might imagine, you know, being in the business that I'm in, I know about alternative assets, I know about, you know, regular assets, and I know about ways to find money, you know, and that gets into the other side of the balance sheet, which is your short-term working capital, loans, you know, things of this nature. And without further ado, Matt has returned. A word from our sponsor, please.
He's back from the 8th dimension.
The 8th dimension.
Yes.
Wow. Jay's going to patch my face over for all the lucky people to see. I just got the hiccups. There you are. All right. Hey, everybody. Matt here from the producer's desk here at Axe Media Group. We're glad to have you guys with us on Tony's show today. Well, today's show is brought to you by naturalsolutionstore.bz. I don't think they have anything that cures the hiccups, but if they did, they'd probably be gone by the time they got here. Anyways, so today's show, we're going to talk about 5-HTP. That's easy enough to remember. And my phone just thought I said something about Bixby. Anyways, what is 5-HTP, you might ask? Well, 5-HTP supports positive mood, appetite suppressant aid, and it promotes normal sleep. Oh. I still have her talking in my ear. So 5-HTP is a building block of serotonin. That's the feel-good neurotransmitter that helps to regulate your sleep cycles and even influences our response to pain. Preliminary evidence suggests that the supplementation of 5-HTP may promote weight loss by helping to reduce appetite, therefore caloric intake. 5-HTP provides natural mood-enhancing ingredients that promote well-being and stress reduction, which may be especially beneficial for those on a weight management program. Contains 180 capsules, up to 8 times as many as our competitors. Now, all Herbal Alchemist products are USA manufactured in an FDA-registered facility according to strict GMP standards. Our formulation is non-GMO, gluten-free, and all-natural. Now, these statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, preventing a disease. So if this applies to you, go online, naturalsolutionstore.bz, and pick up a bottle of 5-HTP today. Back to you, Tony.
Thank you, Matt. Always exciting news from the store. So this new area is, as I was helping this gentleman down in Branson, I wanted to mention a couple of the other services that we can provide. And one is this 720fico.com. And as we all know, there's some of us from time to time that the credit score dips lower than we'd like it to be. And that's what this is all about. The 720fico.com will help you to repair your credit, to build your credit, and to leverage your credit. It'll build your personal credit to qualify for unsecured credit lines, step-by-step how-to video guides, a proven formula to remove negative items quickly, a 40-plus lawyer-approved dispute letter templates. Oh, there's 40-plus of them, lawyer-approved dispute letter templates. And you can save up to $700 in credit repair costs with our powerful do-it-yourself formula. Now, to get this FICO credit course, it's only $297. And I would give you the URL. I mean, I guess I can try it one time. Let's see. Let me put the glasses on. I'll clean this up with Bitly before next week, and then I'll have a much shorter one for you. But it would be https://go.exilio, that's exilio.com/start-here1, the number 1, affiliate _ID equals 1951905, which means that's me in their world. And you can always get word or a question to me on the Tony@thegoldaffiliate.com, or you can call me or text me at 417-755-0700. Exilio actually has a credit suite. And one of the other courses they have is how to create an entity. So if you're sitting there and you are wanting to start a company, or you've started one and things aren't going as smooth as you thought, this course is everything you need to prepare and qualify for exciting funding opportunities. And, you know, as far as this one is a step-by-step guide to setting up your business. By setting up your business right away, you can potentially save thousands of dollars a year in taxes. This course will take you step by step on how to get the most out of structuring your business the right way. This course is perfect for those that set up as a sole proprietor, or those that just starting a business, or even if you're thinking about starting a business. If you are confident you have set up your business correctly and are saving the most money possible with your business type and structure, move on to the corporate credit course below. And this course is also $297. And then the other course is the corporate credit, and that is this one here, corporate credit. Build your business credit to get funding through your business. There's many benefits to building your business credit. This step-by-step course skips all the fluff and gets to the point in helping you build your business credit. Save years of time building up your credit history under your business. Find out how to get business retail cards and which cards to get. Find out what you need to do to get $50,000 or more through your business name without a personal guarantee. So if you go through these courses, and especially this corporate credit course, you could find out how to, well, first off, you could get your credit score up to 720 with the first one. You could start an entity with the second one. And with this corporate credit course, you could not only get the credit set up for your business, but you could find out how you would be able to get $50,000 or more for your business name, through your business name, without a personal guarantee. Now, this course is also $297. They do have a bundle where you use the entity setup and corporate credit together, and that drops the price down to $497. And you can get both courses together to save the $97. And I would highly recommend looking into those 3 courses. I will tell you, if you remember to give me a call, I think I have the ability to discount those prices by as much as up to 50%. It's on a limited basis, so if this is of interest, get to me quicker as compared to later. But where this all comes from is an outfit that I work with called Fundwise. And Fundwise Partners is an entity that helps small and startup businesses to raise money so they can work and do their thing. It's fast and simple, unsecured funding. They help startups and small business owners secure the best funding they can qualify for, guaranteed. And you can get up to $500,000 in working capital. You can get the best loan. Basically, it's one inquiry, and with that one inquiry, they can come back, and it doesn't affect your credit score, and there's no obligation to accept the funding. You're getting capital for your business is complicated, so this will make things real easy. It will work. You know, can you do it? Will the money come through in time? Will you get what you need? It's nerve-wracking experience that can slow you down for months. And all they're saying is take the guesswork out of funding. Our valuable approach and guidance are available to small business owners and startup entrepreneurs. Your funding can be obtained in as little as 7 days so you can reach your financing needs. Senior funding advisor to help you succeed. Data-driven algorithm to strategize your application process for the best results. Loan marketplace to make lenders compete for and improve your terms. So startup capital for startups, small businesses, and entrepreneurs. And I won't get into my backstory too much there, but I will tell you I've had some success with these folks because unlike a lot of these funding outfits that, you know, they have one loan or two, and you know, they're very high interest rates, and they take micropayments and all this kind of stuff. Fundwise will actually shop your desire for funds, and if you qualify for a small business loan through the Small Business Association, you'll get that. They actually have some 0% interest funds or loans for like 12 to 18 months. So I've just found that their portfolio is very wide, and they have a number of lenders they work with, and they do a very, very good job for folks that are looking for funding. Now, the third part of this little story is that, as you might imagine, this is very popular. And, you know, thinking that I'm doing a good job as a radio host here for Axe Media, if my show is about money, I could spend all show talking about gold and silver, but I could also bring in other facets of money. And one of them is, I don't know about you folks, but I've always believed in multiple streams of income. Haven't I, Luke?
Yes, you have.
And so with that said, Fundwise Partners has such a high demand for their services that they're constantly looking for affiliates. And these affiliates can make, you know, $800 to $1,000 per deal by sharing the link they get from Fundwise Partners. And I can get into that probably more so on a phone call, or, you know, dropping a couple things into your inbox with email and stuff like that. But, I mean, they've got it set up to where basically you end up with a link. It was kind of the link I read you of mine earlier. And like this gentleman in Branson, when he surfaced last week, I told him, I said, you know, I'm going to send you a link. I'm going to text you a link. Click on the link, and it will take you to their home page. And from there, you can, you know, look at what they need info-wise. It doesn't cause a hard credit hit. And then they can come back and tell you, you know, what you qualify for and what would be the best way to go. And, you know, if that particular gentleman ends up going forward with them, I'll get paid. Now, what I'll get paid, I don't know. Well, we don't know the size of the deal. We don't know the terms of the deal, those kinds of things. But there will be some compensation for me. And, you know, it gets back to the multiple streams of income. These guys are out of Utah. They're very, very good at what they do. And I would just constantly urge you to think about a side gig. You know, if you're not making ends meet, or the month is much longer than the what do they say? Make ends meet. You got too much more a month than you do cash flow. And if you were interested in FundWise as far as a side gig, this is what they can help you with their training. They'll teach you how to generate leads on autopilot from Instagram and a tool called STEM Social. They'll how to earn override commissions on other FundWise referral partners for residual income. You can earn up to $1,000 per deal by sharing the link with other entrepreneurs, small business owners, house flippers, and investors. How to use Facebook groups and LinkedIn groups to find leads and deals on a daily basis. How to use meetup.com to start finding deals right away. How to generate leads from your phone or laptop anywhere, anytime to make money. How some of our partners are making mid-six-figure incomes and commissions on the side. And how to join our private FundWise Partners Facebook group for live training strategies and coaching. And I can go on and on and on. I mean, this outfit has really been a neat addition to what I do. Because, I mean, just last week, I mean, I'm more focused on the asset and the savings side of the world. And then when this guy, you know, because he and I have talked about this before, when he surfaces and needs some information, you know, I don't have to spend all day getting it for him. I'm able to send him a link that he clicks on. He can review it in his own time, and then if he wants to go forward, he can ask for the information, and they take care of the rest. So it's just a neat addition. You know, a lot of the things that I've brought to the show over the last year are set up in that fashion. I mean, for example, Carrot Bars. Carrot Bars is an affiliate program. So that, you know, if you'd like to share Carrot Bars with folks and allow them to, you know, add gold to their portfolio and stuff, you can do it and get compensated. So there's a number of these types of programs out there, and I get no better thrill than helping somebody make life-changing money. I mean, I know back in 2017, I had a friend of mine here in town that, you know, she and I got involved with, with Beamer. We've had Beamer on the show before. And, you know, after, I don't know, I want to say her second month, she had generated some sales in Beamer. And I knew overnight she'd got the deposit in her checking account because they pay on the 5th and the 20th. And she and I were running over to the hotel up there on the north side where they do a lot of the conventions and stuff. Anyway, the ones that give the cookies on the pillows. That's what I remember. Chocolate chip cookies. She got in the car, and I said, "Hey, did you get your deposit?" And she goes, "Yeah." She goes, "Tony, this is life-changing money for me." And I got the biggest charge out of that because, you know, to help somebody, and, you know, I won't get into her situation, but, I mean, you know, she has an extended family that she takes care of, and that's kind of my mission, which is if one of these opportunities can help you to, you know, have life-changing money hit your account, by all means, let me know. I mean, there's several, and I'd be happy to spend a phone call going over a couple and seeing if there'd be something in there that would make sense for you and stuff. But before we run out of time, let's turn the show back to our guest today, Luke Hammack. Luke, do you want to bring us up to date on how school's going?
School's going pretty cool. So as you can see, of course, I'm not having school today because apparently we're supposed to get bad weather.
Mm-hmm.
And not that much goes on. Well, you do have to do a lot of homework when you're in the Scholars Program.
Oh, you're in the Scholars Program.
I don't.
Like you didn't know that, Tony.
Yeah, you're my dad.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. We can tell. We can tell. Just so you know, we can tell. that
You can
he's your
tell?
dad.
Yeah. So,
I like your shirt better, though.
oh, yeah, his is cool.
Something fishy about it.
Thanks.
Well, isn't that your favorite subject is marine biology?
Yes, and actually we are starting to learn about biology in science, but it's not directly marine biology, it's just biology.
Oh boy, that sounds like fun conversations in the future. Tell me about your artwork.
Oh, I just draw a bunch, I guess. Like, I draw many things. Most of the time, they're just random things.
Well, and as a lot of artists do, he's being very modest. Luke's art has been posted up at school a couple times over the years, and he's working on one right now.
Once.
Well, there was a couple times at the other school. And then, aren't you working on an art project as we speak today? You'll finish it up now that you're going to be home?
Yes, it is where we're basically, it's kind of like painting, except it's on a skateboard. I think that's the only thing different.
You have to be on the skateboard?
No, it's just like a skateboard looking like frame.
Ah. And doesn't this go with one of your projects at school? Or no?
No, it's just an art project.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
thinking last week you did a project on Saturn, wasn't it?
Jupiter.
Jupiter.
And I'm still working on that. 'Cause,
Oh,
but I'm about done with that.
okay.
Yeah.
So, is that the one where you were going to have to draw all the planets?
No, just Jupiter.
Oh, okay. Well, that is Luke's passion, is the art. I think his mom has scheduled maybe in the spring when we can start painting and stuff. He's going to do a mural in his bedroom, so that'll be something to look forward to and stuff.
Maybe.
Maybe.
We want to see pictures of it whenever you're done with it.
Oh, heck, we'll just have you over. You got to
That'd
come
be
over and
great.
do the beamer anyway.
Yeah, I
so,
do. I do.
So,
I said maybe.
maybe. Oh, okay, yeah. We need to have Matt and Jason over sometime for a barbecue or something, once the weather gets a little better, not this sleet and snow and crap. Oh, I can't say crap on the air.
No, you can say
Well-
crap.
You're banned.
I
It's
can
the
say
other.
crap.
It's the other four-letter word you can't say.
Oh,
Oh.
love?
Yeah, that's a dangerous one.
Oh, now
Not really. That's not a dangerous one. I gotta say,
you got the show canceled now.
because God is love. So
That is love, yes.
love your neighbor as yourself.
Well, and
Those are
one
all
of
good things.
I will tell you this. One of the things that has really affected me, and I think I mentioned something about it on the show last week, but is this Kobe Bryant thing. Here's a guy 41 years old, and, he's on a helicopter going to his daughter's basketball game, whatever it was. And, 1 second he's here, and the next second he and 8 other folks are not. And, it was one of those things where I don't know if it's because of celebrity or what. I mean, it could have been anybody, but, it has me thinking of just how fragile our lives are. Just how many things go into getting us here, and then how many things that can happen, go wrong so quickly, and we're gone. And so I've just really been kind of making a better effort at trying to stay in the moment and acknowledge that, as compared to getting caught up and being mad at somebody that wronged me in some way.
Life is too short.
It really is.
We're not even promised the next minute.
I mean, it's amazing the way this thing works, when you start really thinking about it. And that's why, I really appreciate the opportunity that Jim and Pam Whiting, give me week in, week out to come in here and do a broadcast, and Dr. Paul Collins, because, Acts Ministry is doing some just really neat work out there. And there's, several ministries under the umbrella of Acts Ministry. And I got the newsletter the other day from Jackie, and there's just things in there that I wasn't aware of that are just amazing that's going on. And in some cases, some of these folks, if it wasn't for Acts Ministry, they may not be getting food or shelter or being taught that there is a Savior and stuff. So, I just really think that there's some good mojo going on here. And if you're not involved with Acts Ministry, you should be. Maybe from a service work type of situation, or maybe it's from donations, or maybe it's from going to one of the ministry's worship hours and things like that. So keep that in mind as you're putting together your days and your weekends. Tune into their broadcasts and their calendar, see what's going on around not only Southwest Missouri but around the world. They reach far and wide, and we're hoping to get them further and wider with some of the things that are going on inside the ministry and everything. So anyway, with that said, I know we're winding down. If anybody ever has questions on my content, my topics, please email me at tony@thegoldaffiliate.com or give me a call at 417-755-0700. There's no obligation. I mean, it's just one of those things where in fact, Steve, the other day after a show, he was still here. His show had just ended, and he asked me a question, and, I was able to give him an answer real quick. In fact, his show's changing times, isn't it?
What?
Is Steve's show changing time?
Yes, it will now be on Mondays from 9 to 10. We're giving him another 30 minutes.
Oh, he only had 30 minutes before.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's moving from Tuesdays?
From Tuesdays from 10 to 10:30, moving to Mondays from 9 to 10.
Ah, okay. So, and I think he's going to
His
have...
show is taking the place of the Crosswalk of Hope.
Oh, because of Mr. Coates.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a sad passing, and he did a lot of wonderful work here in the area in his career and stuff. But I'm sure now my 2 minutes is up. So thank you very much, Springfield. Oh, hold on.
Well, speaking on that subject of Kobe Bryant, did he invest in Carrot Gold?
I don't know. I'm not privy to his portfolio. My hunch is his portfolio went far and wide, I would think.
Well, if he didn't, then the moral of the story is invest in Carrot Gold.
You heard it here first. Invest in Carrot Gold by Luke Hammock. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful, safe day, and we will see you next week. And have a blessed day. Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.